guys, Conrad Craft here. So I wanted to start doing some more videos regularly on my channel, and I thought I would start with some basics of theory for you guys, because many of you are already good players, many of you already know chords and maybe even some leads, but theory is one of those things that eludes you, and maybe it's because you thought, that theory was this big scary thing that would take away the joy and the creativity of music, and it would give you all these rules. But I have found that that's not actually the case with theory. Theory should and will empower you if you learn how to use it as an extra tool in your toolbox of musical skills. So the first bit of theory that we're going to learn is something called the interval number system, or also called the Nashville number system. This is a real simple bit of theory because it simply takes our musical alphabet and gives numbers to the places of each note. So we know in the musical alphabet that we have the letters A through G. There's no H. There's nothing after that. And that is, those are the notes. Those are the natural notes, and they're sharps and flats. Well, because we only have those 7 different alphabet letters, and then we start using over again, the Nashville number system is a number system by which you use 7 numbers to represent things instead of notes. That way you can think of songs and forms of songs, or the progressions of songs, kind of as a pattern outside of the key. And that allows you to actually take any song you have, and if you can think about it outside of the key, then transposing to a key is really easy and simple. And that's really the most used, it's the way this is most used in music, is transposing from one key to another, or thinking about the song in the set of a certain kind of formula. So, what are the Nashville numbers? Well, I've used the term key a couple times already. A key is just your starting place for structuring the scales and the chords of a song. It's the root plus 6 other notes. So if I say that I'm in the key of G, that means my root is G, and the 6 other notes after it are in alphabetical order from G forward. So it'd be G, start over at A, because we don't have anything after G. So G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then back at 8, or the octave, G. So you just number those alphabet letters from your root as 1 on to your root being 8 again. And that's kind of the Nashville number system in short. That applies first to scales. So when you play a song, generally the song will be thought of in the context of a major scale first. So the major scale being the do, re, mi scale. There's the G scale. Okay. 1 would be our root. 2 is the next position. 3, 4. And it allows you to think about the positions of the scale without having to think about, am I playing an F or an F sharp? No, you're just playing some version of F, right? Or you're just playing some version of C, or some version of each one of those notes. You don't have to think about the sharps and flats per se. You just know the scale pattern, right? Your start, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. You just know that pattern, and then you apply these numbers, 1 through 7, over the top of it. And you start over at 8, which is the octave. So when this gets first applied to the scale, specifically a major scale, you can think about those spots in the scale as the intervals. And I use that term at the very beginning of the introduction. The interval number system. Okay? This is the first interval, the second interval, the third interval. An interval is the distance between 2 notes, right? So we can also think about those distances as individual units. This is a third, right? This is a fifth, right? And here's an octave, right? So those are intervals, or this is like an 8th interval. A 5th, a third, right? And so the Nashville number system, the interval number system, that's its most simple use. Anything that's done inside of a scale then gets expanded into the world of chords. So each one of these positions in the scale can become the root position of a chord. So I can have a G chord, so it's a chord on the 1 interval. I can have an A chord of some kind. This is an A minor. That's my 2 interval. Then B minor. That's my 3 interval. And you just keep going up the ladder, right? And that's how you get the whole set of intervals from 1 all the way to 7 and then starting over at 8 or 1. So that pattern of numbers that's applied to the scale will be applied to those chords. So if you start a chord on the 3rd interval, they call it the 3 chord. If you start a chord on the 4th interval, they call it the 4th chord. And that's when the Nashville number system actually gets used. People start saying, well, this song is a 1-4-5 progression, right? That's the order of chords, or the total number of chords used in the song. So a 1-4-5 progression has the 1. So if we're in G, G, A, B, C, G is our 1, C would be the 4. If it's a 1-4-5 progression, it's G, A, B, C, D. Pretty simple. So we would have a G, right, a C, and a D. And that would be our 1-4-5. For a more in-depth understanding of how these chords work in the key, you have to understand a little bit of a formula that changes the quality of the chord from major to minor as you go up the interval system. And so the formula for that pattern is as follows. Major will be the 1 position. Minor is the 2nd position, or 2. Minor is also the 3rd position. And then you have 2 majors. You get the 4 position is major, and the 5 position is major. So we've gone major to start, minor, minor, major, major. That takes us to the 5. Then we go to the 6th position, that's minor, and then to the 7th position. And the 7th position is technically more than minor. It's a diminished chord. For right now, we'll just call it minor, so it's simple to think about, and I don't have to explain a diminished chord to you. But basically, something even darker happens when you get to a 7 in the true major scale form. We'll just use the minor version for this video, and I'll explain diminished chords in a later video. And then we're back at the 1. So we've got major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor, major. And that's a simple formula that you can memorize. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor. Those are the shapes you will have to make. And then you just have to know your whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half pattern. And that's where you start your root note for each one of these chords. So I would start on the root G, and I'd make a major chord. It's my 1. Go a whole step up, make a minor chord. This is a root A. A minor. Whole step again, because it's start, whole, whole, right? Make it minor, because it's major, minor, minor. We're in position 3, or in the 3rd interval. Now we're on the 4th interval. That's a half step up. So we're on the C chord, C major. Then we get whole, 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 half. So whole step, D major. Right? Major, minor, minor, major, major. We're on the last major. Now we need a whole step and make it minor. Our last whole step, this is the diminished chord that we're just playing as a minor for now. This is chord 7, right? So we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you want to play songs, you can play them just as I did, sliding up the neck. The voicings are not going to be great, but at least you can understand how it works. So, you can play a song, a 1-4-5, here in G. And I'm just following the chords that I found, going up the major scale, on the top string, on the G top string, start whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. And using kind of the Sam Bush bar chord, which is kind of a power chord shape, right? I'm just changing from a major shape to a minor shape here on the mandolin. Major, minor, minor, major. So that is the Nashville number system in a nutshell. If you want to use it, a great way to start doing that is just do it mentally. Pick a key and find the 1-4-5 or the 1-4-5 in 6, because the 6th chord also gets used almost as much as the 1-4 and 5 do.